All right, so you really want to dig into something, right? Go beyond just like surface level stuff. Well, today we are diving deep into a film that you guys flagged for us. The 1987 classic, Predator.
A classic, definitely.
Yeah, you sent us a ton of material on it. Reviews, behind-the-scenes info, even some fan theories.
I love the fan theories. Always fun to see what people come up with.
So we've sifted through it all, tried to find the gold, and hopefully we can give you the core insights.
The good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's so fascinating about this film is how a movie that was initially seen by some as just a pure action flick.
Yeah, super violent.
Yeah, exactly. Has become this, cultural icon.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at, this scenario you sent us, this U.S. Special Ops team. They're heading into the Central American jungle. They think it's a rescue mission.
Zibble in and out, right?
Yeah, exactly. But they end up being hunted by this extraterrestrial warrior with crazy advanced technology.
Not what they signed up for.
No, not at all.
Makes you wonder what their, psych evils were like.
Right. I mean, talk about a stressful work environment.
For sure. But, and I think this is what makes it so enduring, it's that blend of action, the sci-fi, the suspense, and even some horror elements in there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a really potent mix.
And if we think back to some of those early reviews you sent in, back in '87 when it came out.
Not all sunshine and roses.
No, not at all. Some critics felt like the plot was a little thin, just kind of like a brainless action movie.
Mindless fun, I think I saw one call it.
Yeah, exactly. But now, look at it. It's a complete turnaround. It's considered a genre classic.
It's funny how those things happen, right?
It is. And, on the financial side, it's interesting, too. It was definitely a box office success, but I think I read somewhere that it didn't actually break even, considering all the re-releases and merchandise.
Oh, yeah?
Until, like, the early 2000s.
I think I saw something about that, too, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that initial critical reception isn't always the best indicator of how a film will be viewed, down the line.
Long-term impact, for sure.
Or its staying power at the box office, for that matter.
Yeah, totally. Predator really, hit a nerve with audiences,
Yeah.
something beyond those initial reviews.
Right. So, okay, before we get too far, where did this whole alien in the jungle concept even come from?
Well, this is where things get a little, I guess you could say humorous.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the writers, right, Jim and John Thomas,
Yeah.
apparently they came up with the idea almost as a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, they were thinking, Rocky Balboa, he's faced every human opponent you can imagine, so what's next?
Right.
An alien, of course.
Makes sense, yeah.
So this kind of tongue-in-cheek concept of Rocky versus an alien, that's what they started with.
Wow.
And that's what eventually morphed into the Predator script. And when they were pitching it, that was often the tagline they used. Alien in the jungle.
It's concise, it's evocative. You definitely get the core idea right away.
For sure. Gets right to the point.
Yeah. So the team lands thinking it's a simple extraction. And then things get real pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, things go south pretty fast. So they're there to rescue a cabinet minister, right? His helicopter's been shot down.
Right.
Supposedly rebel territory. But almost immediately, Dutch Schwarzenegger's character, he picks up on something. He senses that Dylan...
Careful Weathers.
Yeah, the CIA guy, he's not being completely straight with him.
Hiding something.
Yeah, exactly. And well, you know what happens next? They find those skinned green berets.
Gruesome.
It's brutal, yeah.
What?
That's probably the team that was sent in before for recon.
Yeah. And then they encounter the gorillas.
Firefight, yeah, big one.
And Anna, played by Elpidia Carrillo, gets taken hostage.
Right, but that almost becomes, like a side note compared to what's coming.
Exactly, because Anna gives them a crucial piece of information, right?
Yeah, she does. She talks about, similar things happening before, but always during the hottest times of year. And she refers to this demon who makes trophies of man. Really chilling stuff.
Yeah.
Not only does it kind of foreshadow what they're really dealing with, right? But it also suggests that this has happened before. Maybe many times.
Like the Predator's been here a while.
Exactly.
Oh.
Makes you wonder, how many times has this happened without anyone knowing?
So let's talk about the Predator, the star of the show. What kind of tech does this thing have?
Oh, man, it's a walking arsenal. First off, you've got the cloaking device.
The active camouflage, yeah.
Right. Not true invisibility, but it bends light around its body, making it basically transparent. But you notice it's not perfect, right?
Yeah. Especially when it's moving fast or near edges.
Exactly. And then there's the heat vision. It can see the heat signatures of living beings. Huge advantage in that jungle.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of heat, I think I read somewhere that the actual jungle heat during filming caused some problems with capturing the predator's heat vision on camera.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was so hot that they had to, like, constantly spray the plants with ice water.
To get the right contrast.
Right, to make the heat vision effect look right.
That's wild. Okay, and then you've got that shoulder-mounted laser cannon. Just brutal.
Oh, yeah. And, the sound guys, they had a nickname for that thing. They called it the parrot gun
That's funny. Why a parrot?
because of how it moves, independent tracking, like it's perched on his shoulder.
Yeah.
They said it reminded them of Peter Sellers with a rubber parrot.
I love it. And of course, we can't forget the wrist blades.
Oh, sure.
Deadly in close combat.
Right.
Okay, and what about the skinning of the victims, taking their skulls and spines? What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, that's one of the most disturbing parts, right? The movie never really explains it, which adds to the mystery. But there are some interesting theories. Some think it's just a form of, like, field dressing the prey, a ritualistic thing.
Okay.
Others say it's a way to intimidate, send a message, like a warning sign to anyone else who might be thinking of messing with the predator. Right.
But the most common theory is that the skulls and spines, those are trophies. Proof of a successful hunt.
Yeah, and the way it does it, ripping out the spinal cord with the skull still attached, like, that definitely suggests something ritualistic.
Oh, totally. So yeah, terrifying stuff.
So the Predator's design, it's so iconic. Like,
Yeah.
you see that silhouette and you know immediately what it is. How did that come about?
Yeah, it's amazing, right? But, it went through a pretty big transformation during production.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The first design, done by Boss Studio, was much more insect-like.
Okay.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger said it looked like a lizard suit with the head of a duck. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally cast as the Predator.
No way.
Yeah. But he had a hard time moving in the suit. It was bulky, and apparently he complained a lot about how uncomfortable it was in all that heat, so they ended up scrapping the whole thing.
Just tossed it out.
Pretty much, yeah. And they brought in Stan Winston, the legend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He had a super tight deadline to come up with a new design.
That's a lot of pressure. Oh, for sure. But he nailed it, obviously.
He did. What were some of his inspirations for the final look?
He looked at a lot of different things. The scaly skin, that was inspired by koi fish and locusts.
Yeah.
And for the face, he looked at the Rickle-faced bat.
I can see that.
Yeah. And then they added the mandibles and the dreadlocks later on.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, the dreadlocks were never meant to be a racial thing.
Right.
The director's been very clear about that.
Good to know. So, being inside that suit must have been quite the experience.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Peter Hall, the guy who played the Predator, he said it was more like a survival story than a movie shoot.
Wow.
The suit was so heavy and hard to balance in, and he could barely see anything. They actually had several different heads they used.
Different ads.
Yeah. A really detailed one for close-ups, a tougher one for stunts,
Yeah.
and one that opened up at the front for scenes where the mask was off.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
And the facial movements, a lot of that was done with animatronics, servo motors and all that. But Hall also controlled the mouth with his own jaw, and he had to wear these contact lenses that made it even harder to see.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. They even had a separate motor in the backpack to move the lower mandibles.
Crazy. I also came across this theory about the Predator using voice mimicry.
Oh, yeah, that's a popular one. There are a few scenes that hint at it, like it can record sounds and play them back to lure its prey or just mess with them.
Like psychological warfare.
Totally. You see that in nature all the time.
Right.
Certain predators using mimicry.
Right. And it seems like the Predator has a specific time of year it likes to hunt.
Yeah, like we talked about before, it seems to prefer the hottest times. Could be because its heat vision works best then, or maybe it's just a biological thing. Who knows?
So how do you even stand a chance against something like this? Any weaknesses?
Well, one thing we see is that the cloaking device, it's connected to its wrist computer. When Dutch hits that with an arrow, the camouflage malfunctions. It becomes visible.
Right.
That's one weak spot.
Yeah.
And then there's the self-destruct device, the wrist nuke.
Oh, yeah. Talk about going out with a bang.
Right. Once that's activated, you've got like 40 seconds to get clear.
Not much time.
Nope. And I think it's worth pointing out, you know that scene with Blaine early on?
Yeah.
The Predator actually attacks him with the spear gun first,
Yeah.
grazes his shoulder, doesn't kill him right away,
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
and then it switches to the plasma caster, which obviously is much more lethal.
Yeah. And there were apparently plans for other weapons, like a spear and a sword, but they cut those from the first film.
I think those showed up in Predator 2.
Yeah. Okay, so the Predator is this incredible force, but the human element, Dutch's team. That's a huge part of what makes the film work, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're what
And
ground the whole story,
yeah.
Give us something to relate to. And the way the team dynamic shifts as they're hunted, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Right. So we've got Dutch, Dylan, Mac, Blaine, Billy, Poncho, Hawkins. They're this elite unit.
Best of the best.
Yeah. Super confident, almost invincible, at least at first.
Until they come face to face with something they can't even comprehend.
Yeah, and all that confidence just crumbles.
Yeah. And it seems like the actors really put a lot of effort into embodying these roles.
Oh, yeah. Schwarzenegger lost a ton of weight to be leaner and more agile.
Really committed to the part.
Yeah. And Carl Weathers, he was already super fit, but he was known for doing these crazy early morning workouts.
That's dedication.
And the director, John McTiernan, he put them through a military-style boot camp on location.
Wow. Serious stuff.
Yeah, 6 a.m. every day. It was all about building camaraderie and making sure they moved like real soldiers.
That's attention to detail for sure.
There's some pretty funny stories about the cast too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jesse Ventura, he was so excited when he heard his biceps were bigger than Schwarzenegger's. He immediately challenged him to an arm wrestling match.
Oh.
Yeah. Turns out, Schwarzenegger had actually put the wardrobe department up to it. He won, obviously.
I like classic Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Shane Black, who played Hawkins, he hated those thick glasses he had to wear. He wanted something more authentic.
Yeah, I can see that.
But McTiernan insisted on keeping him. He wanted that nerdy look for the character.
Huh, interesting. And Sonny Landham, he actually had a bodyguard on set, but not to protect him.
But you protect everyone else from him.
Yeah, apparently he had a bit of a temper.
To put it mildly.
Yeah, quite a mix of personalities. But on screen, they really do come across as this tight-knit unit.
They do. And all the banter, a lot of that was improvised, especially by Shane Black.
Really?
Yeah. Lines like, I ain't got time to bleed, and stick around, and, of course, get to the chopper. Those all came from the actors.
Iconic lines. And it's important to remember, the film is dedicated to the memory of Agustin Utorte and Federico Yacinza.
Yeah, a tragic reminder that even on a film set, things can go wrong.
Absolutely. So as the team gets picked off one by one, you see all these different reactions to what's happening.
Yeah, that's what makes it so compelling.
Yeah.
You've got Billy, the tracker. He seems to understand the danger on a deeper level, almost spiritual. He becomes resigned to their fate.
Okay.
Poncho completely freaks out. Mac goes kind of crazy, driven by revenge.
Makes sense.
Dylan tries to deny it all until it's too late. But it's interesting that it's Anna, the hostage, and Dutch who managed to stay somewhat calm.
They're the survivors.
They are. They find a way to think under pressure. And there's this interesting thing, too. Some of the deaths seem to mirror things that were said or done earlier in the film.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that.
Like Blaine, he says he doesn't have time to bleed. And then he's killed by a plasma blast that cauterizes the wound.
Oh, wow.
Back, he's always shaving, worried about his appearance. And then he dies from a headshot that leaves his face intact.
That's eerie.
It is.
Yeah.
And Dylan, he loses that arm wrestling match with Dutch at the beginning, and then he loses his arm to the Predator.
That's some heavy foreshadowing.
Yeah, adds a whole other layer to the film.
So this whole production sounds like it was a nightmare at times.
Oh, it was notoriously difficult. Remember that first Predator suit?
The lizard with a duck head?
Yeah, that was a huge setback. They had to shut down filming and scramble to find a new designer. And Stan Winston, he came in with very little time to work.
Oh, we talked about that.
And then there was the whole thing with Van Damme.
Right.
It was just too short, and he hated the suit. So they had to recast and do a lot of reshoots.
And filming in the jungle, that's got to be tough.
Oh, brutal. They were in Mexico, and everyone got sick except Schwarzenegger and McTiernan.
They were the lucky ones?
Yeah. And even McTiernan, he wasn't happy with the location at first. He thought it was too brown, not lush enough. So they had to bring in more plants, even use concrete trees for support.
Wow, that's dedication.
And Poncho's grenade launcher, that was completely made up for the film.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a real weapon. And for Billy's death scene, they used a dummy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't imagine that would have been fun to film.
Definitely not. And the Predator vision, that was a mix of practical effects and a special heat vision camera.
Pretty advanced for the time.
It was. And the music, too.
Yeah.
Alan Silvestri's score, that's a huge part of what makes the film so suspenseful and exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
And we can't forget the sound guys and their nickname for the shoulder cannon.
The parrot gun.
Yeah, exactly. They had a good time with that one.
Any other fun behind-the-scenes stuff you found?
Oh, yeah, a few things. So that machete that Dutch uses, the one he throws at the Predator, that was custom made.
Okay.
And it was heavier than they expected. So when Schwarzenegger threw it, he ad-libbed the line, "Stick around."
Because it's stuck in the tree.
Exactly. And later, he gave the machete to McTiernan as a gift.
That's cool. What else?
Well, there's this claim that the way camouflage is shown in the film actually influenced real-world research into things like fiber optic camouflage.
That's wild.
It is. And then you've got two of the actors, Jesse Ventura and Schwarzenegger, both becoming governors.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, who would have thought? They also really tried to be realistic with the military stuff. They did research on special forces tactics, and the cast learned hand signals.
Makes sense.
And the film was almost rated NC-17, but they made some cuts to get an R rating.
Just toned it down a bit.
Yeah. Oh, and you know the Filipino film Bangers?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's an action movie from 1996. Apparently, it was directly inspired by Predator.
Interesting.
And one last thing. You know the character Jim Hopper from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
His name came from the skinned green beret in Predator.
Wow. That's a connection I would never have made.
You never know where inspiration comes from.
It's amazing all the layers to this film, and Alan Silvestri's score is incredible. Really elevates the whole thing.
Totally agree. Silvestri's score, it's got this like stirring quality. It ramps up the suspense, the action, really creates this immersive experience.
So even though the critics were mixed at first and the production was super difficult, there's no denying that Predator has had a lasting impact.
Oh, yeah. It's a classic for a reason.
Right. What do you think makes it so enduring?
Well, for one, it's this perfect blend of genres. It's sci-fi, action, horror, thriller, all rolled into one. And Stan Winston's creature design, that's iconic, instant recognition. And the cast, they deliver these really strong performances, even though the characters are kind of archetypal.
Right.
The suspense is relentless, the action is intense, and the fact that they overcame all those production challenges to make this film, that's inspiring in itself.
Yeah, I agree. And it's had a massive influence on pop culture, too.
Toys, comics, sequels, spin-offs, even the Alien vs. Predator movies.
So there you have it. We started with a joke about Rocky fighting an alien, and we ended up with this cultural phenomenon.
It's quite a journey.
We've looked at the story, the characters, the production, the legacy. It's all there.
Hopefully we've given you some things to think about. And this leads to a really interesting question. When you look at how action and sci-fi films have changed since 1987,
Yeah.
what is it about Predator, with its relative simplicity and those practical effects, that still resonates so strongly with audiences today?
That's a good question.
Is the hunter versus hunted dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
that primal fear, or maybe it's that mindless fun aspect that some critics dismissed? Maybe that's a bigger part of its appeal than we realize.
Lots to consider.
Definitely. And that's what we want, right? To make you think, to make you question, to make you want to revisit these films and see them in a new light.
That's what it's all about.
So keep thinking, keep exploring, and who knows what other deep dives we'll uncover together.
Until next time.